Hello, Soma fam. Today we're going to learn how to transform this lovely red scarf into a gorgeous gown. So first our shoulder is 7.5, and then we can add 4 to 5 inches for the length of the sleeve, and that is good enough. So we're going to measure the width to be 2.5 inches and then the breadth to be 2 inches, and that is for our front. Then we use our curve ruler to mark from that 2 down to the 2.5. Then we open it up because it's joined from start to finish. It's a loosed fabric, so if you cut it anyhow, it's loose, so we have to be very careful. Now we've identified our front part, so we're going to make sure we mark our shoulder. So that's the line for the shoulder, and we go down by 1/2 inch for the back because it's a turtleneck. Then we link up that 1/2 inch down with a curve ruler down to our 2.5 inches shoulder. So we're going to cut that out. So later we're going to open it up at the back there by that line and measure it. So let's cut out the round neck first. Then we measure the cut at the back. So that's the shoulder point. And then I measured 3.5 inches. Oh, no, it was too short, so you should go longer. You can go by 6 inches or 5.5 inches, depending on how wide the head is. Then see how round. I'll use a bias to sew round that neck. If you don't know what a bias is, check my previous video to see the items you should know as a fashion designer. So now the length of this top is 35.5 inches. So we're going to measure from the shoulder to our bust and our waist, then to the hips. So our bust, waist, hip. The bust is 10.5 inches, the waist is 16.5 inches, while the hips is 26 inches. So that is the length. Now we're going to deal with the breadth. So the breadth of the bust is 11 inches. So what I did is add 1/2 inch by all the measurements. If one is 10.5, I added 0.5 inches to it and made it 11. And then the waist, 9.5 inches. The hips, 12.5 inches. So all I did is add 1/2 inch for allowance, just to free. So the 1/2 inch would sum up to 2 inches by all round, and then went up and left the sleeve. The width of the sleeve was 7 inches. So that's by measurement, and the round will be 14. So that's what I left up there. So I left an ease of 14.5, making 1 inch ease around the hip. So down below the hips, down to the point where I marked this V point, I measured 4.5 inches. So you can go higher if you don't want your hips to be covered. So you can start directly on the hips, making a V shape from that top, or go like I just did, making it look like a long top that is quite decent. So on the bottom part, that mark I'm just doing now is for the back. So the oval shape is for the back, while the V shape is for the front. So first we're going to cut out, we're going to add an allowance of 1 inch all around. So in case the person wants to open up or expand it, they're free to do it. And then I use the scissors to cut out the back first. After cutting out the back, then we can now handle the front. So the back will be cut out first. The outfit, make sure you line it up properly, and the outfit will be opened up. Then the front part will be cut up. So don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and comment. Just tell me what you'd want to learn, and if this was helpful and should do more of this, I don't mind. I'll be very happy to be able to ease your sewing and make things seamless for you. So here is the front, how it has been cut out, and then I use the bias to sew the bottom part as well as the neckline, because like I told you, the fabric has loose ends. So here's a rose fabric, and then now it's for the round neck, the turtleneck I told you about. So first you measure around the neck, the one we just cut out, the back and the front, then we come here to come and mark all we've learned. So the length here is 11 inches, 11.5, so you can use 8 inches, and then the width is 4 inches, so you can use 3 inches. Then I went up by 1/2 inch and ruled it like this. Then I went up by the side. That's going to be the front part unfold. So here it is, 11.5. So what I did was I found the measurement for the front part, which is 6 inches. Then went up by 1/2 inch, then used my curve ruler, simple as that, just to merge that point where the front is meant to stop, and ruled the curve ruler up to the 1/2 inch I went up. So just look at the 1/2 inch below as an allowance I'm going to add. So that 1/2 inch below is of no concern to this. It's just an allowance to be added if you want. Then I went up by 1.25. So that's how wide I want my collar to be, aside the allowance all around. So you can make it 1 inch, it's up to you. Then at the midpoint, I ruled straight up just to show my midpoint. Then use the curve ruler to link up to that. So make sure you link it up till the end. So I tried to link up by going in by half an inch, but that was unnecessary. So that's why you can see the markings there. So I just covered it up. Then for the back part, it was 3 inches. So I measured the back and front like I told you earlier for the part we just cut out. Then went up by 0.25. That's half of half inches. So I went up by that and then rolled. That's more or less a quarter. So I used the curve ruler to link it up from that back part to the front. So like the front part as well, I made sure I measured it and ensure that it's balanced and then ruled. So I corrected it later on when I discovered that it wasn't the correct markings. It had to be 3 inches. Can you see? Move forward and then ruled it as well. So the down part seemed longer. So you measure at the end of everything you do. So that's why I linked it up like this, because this is the correct one. So ensure you mark both up and down, and then our collar pattern is formed. Then I use this collar pattern to have this cut out and fold, and left half an inch down and half an inch up and sewed it. So ensure you have the double of it for the front and back part to be sewn. So you sew the up part first and the down part will be linked up later on. So as you can see, I love the outcome of this. So beautiful and gorgeous. And then the back, I used the clip button. And if you don't know the names of these items, as a fashion designer that you should know, check my previous video. And thank you for watching. Bye.